Well, what do you think? Are we crazy? Are we insane? Welcome back to Deer Valley Homestead. My name is still Andy, and I'm still not at Deer Valley Homestead. I'm at our new property. It's about 200 meters away from Deer Valley Homestead. And this week we are taking a look around inside. This is brand new to you guys and brand new to us. By brand new, of course, I mean brand new secondhand and needing a small amount of cosmetic work. We have a lot to do. Let's take ourselves straight in. I think maybe they had a dog at some point, huh? Alright, welcome to the darkness. So when you walk in, it's like a hallway, kitchenette, boiler, and I never know the right words, but boiler, kitchenette, one big room. We think this is going to become like a kitchen lounge type thing, with the idea that most of the time would be spent outside on the balcony. To the right, as you walk in the door, you have what is really the main bedroom, I suppose. These lovely old windows, and just check out the roof. How beautiful is that? It has a small woodworm problem. We'll be sorting that out over the next few months. But apart from that, it is pretty. Of course, there's a little bit of old furniture to deal with. They did offer to remove everything, but we used it as part of our negotiating tactic. The people who previously owned this property really didn't want to deal with all of the rubbish that was here. So they've come and taken a select few items, some family photos, that kind of stuff, and the rest of it we're going to deal with. And that was just part of our negotiating tactic. We realized pretty quickly how much they didn't want to deal with it, and so we used it to knock off some money from the asking price. So there's our beautiful windows. There's a small old fire in here and a couple of wardrobes. The electrics do work, but I'm not turning any of them on today. They may need some slight updates. And like I say, there is a small amount of cosmetic work to be done on this property. Small amount. Going the other way, so on the left as you walk in the front door, you come into this part of the house, and we're not really sure what this part is or what we're going to use it for. At the moment, it's kind of a weird little hallway seating room. I'm not quite sure what to call it. Again, the big beautiful windows. Point you this way around. So there's a wardrobe, that's the door that we came in. There is one door here, which this bit of the house is all fairly new. I think in the last 5 or 10 years they did this work, and they were halfway through installing a bath and a toilet, and I guess they never quite finished. And again, those beautiful ceilings. It's actually through the whole house. We love it. It's going to look really good when it's sanded and treated, and the woodworm dealt with, of course. So that's the bathroom, and this last little room, I don't know what to call it. It is about 1 meter 80 by 1 meter 80, 6 foot by 6 foot maximum, and all it has is a small window and a small shelf unit, and a small amount of mold here and there, but that's to be expected. No one's lived here for at least 5 years. Come to think of it, right, the most recent evidence we have found for living here is a couple of calendars, and the most recent used calendar was from 2010. So it could be up to 13 years since someone lived here. And while the plant life has taken over, I think it was looked after for longer than that. As you can see, the house itself is pretty small, but it has a lot of extras and add-ons, if that makes sense. So this is the current roof access, and one of the things that really sold this house for us is that it has a brand new roof all the way along. I don't know when it was done, but I've been up there. It is pristine. So coming along the outside, you have those windows that go into the bedroom. We will see whether we end up keeping these windows or whether we go for some kind of double, triple glazing. I'm not sure. There used to be a set of stairs down, but they're a little bit too rickety. I can't go down those. And that goes into another room down there, which I will show you later. And going up, if I remember where not to step, there is one of these that is pretty dodgy. There is, I don't know, a loft attic room. Hopefully you can see that. So it is a pretty low head height kind of room. I can just stand under the beam. I can just hit my head on the beam. So, you know. And up here is chock-a-block full of stuff. And as you can see, maybe the daylight coming through at the end, this is wooden walls on 3 sides. Who knows exactly what this is going to be in the future, but it's going to be something. Okay, and that seems to me to be some kind of hay chute from the loft, which also has a bunch of hay in it. For my family members, it might remind you of somewhere else. Okay, I remember now. That's the one not to stand on. Now, let's get ourselves a bunch of keys and let's go and explore all the outbuildings and the barn. There is a lot to show. We need that one, Pivnica, the style, that one, and that one, and that one. This one, I am told, used to be a bread oven down here. In this little room on the right hand side, I can't even open this door, just so wedged shut. It used to be a smokehouse. So they used to do all their meat smoking in there. As you can see, it's full of rubbish, and it has definitely seen better days. I think the likelihood of this being removed is pretty high. This small little building next to it as well will probably be removed, but we haven't made any decisions. And again, I can't open this one properly, but I can open it just enough to show you what's inside. Apart from a bunch of cobwebs, there's a lot of old car parts, some old tools, and definitely a few droppings from some of the different residents who have moved in. Okay, let's take you down to the big barn. That is this one. I mentioned last week that this end of the barn is slowly dropping, and as you can see, the support for the barn is not the best in places. It may need a little bit of work. Anyway, there is so much cool stuff in here. Hopefully some of it will be savable. This is an old 3-rabbit tree. I think that's probably savable. Comes with some old rabbit poop. This is where they used to keep the piggies. We used to keep 4 pigs here, I'm told. And they lived in here all year round. A bit surprising for me, but that's what they did. This is their old workstation. It again is full of tools, nuts, bolts and pieces of house. And there is this beautiful old wooden workbench. Has a big vise on the end. And I'm hoping to get the chance to restore this at some point. I'd really like to give it a very gentle sand, a good clean, a good coat of something protective, and hopefully I can use it myself in the future. This saw was something I noticed when we walked around, and I have since found out a lot of history about this thing. This saw goes back to 1957, possibly further. I have a picture of it from then, which I will show you. We'll do a video on this one day. And this saw was the first bandsaw in the village, and they used to wheel it around between the houses so that they could all chop their firewood. I think you can work out what that is without me going too close or telling you too much about it. And then you have the back door, which you've seen from the other side with those dodgy stairs. You couldn't go up or down, but we will replace those at some point. This place is just full of ladders, tools, you name it. There's some here. There's a nice big wood pile. We'll get that used up this winter or next winter. And this room is the other side of when I showed you outside of the house and we went up and there was some stairs down. This is the other access to that room. Sometimes there's a few bats in here, so you may see me duck and run. And in here is a very old wooden and dirt floor, and again just a bunch of old bits of house, bits of furniture, and things that need to be thrown away, recycled. I have noticed around the property a number of these platforms in the ceilings that it seems like they were used to attract the birds to nest here, and I have to wonder, were they making bird's nest soup? Were they taking the eggs? Were they eating the birds? What was the reason behind that? Maybe someone knows. If you do, please drop it in the comment section down below. Now, for those of you who have seen the channel before or know me personally, you will know that this is right up my alley. I love all this old stuff. I love the way people used to live, where they were much more self-reliant, and it wasn't always about running out to the shop and getting whatever you need. You had to make it work with what you had, and you should expect a lot of that coming up in these videos in the next few months and years, of repairing old things, making things work, and trying not to spend too much money on new stuff at the same time. Next up, we are going into the top of the wine house. I still don't know what to call it. You're still welcome to drop your names down below. Maybe summer kitchen? I don't know. So this has power and it has water, but that's all turned off, of course, because it's -6 and it is cold. So we have some kind of old bed, some beautifully painted walls, old cooker, fireplace, heating, a beautiful window, a mildly sagging floor that I'm sure will need to be replaced. You can see it quite well on the wardrobes, how uneven they are. The one on the right is leaning to the right, or the left in the picture. So definitely some work to be done in here. Some nice wooden beams, but I'm not sure that this roof is worth much. We shall see. It has a nice tiled roof above it, but I think most of this building will have to be ripped out and replaced. As I may have mentioned, this property does require a small amount of cosmetic work to get it up and running again. But we'll get there. Nice teapot. Anyone fancy a cuppa? Empty. What's this one? Oh, more keys for something. That looks like an electric or a water key maybe. And oh, big jars. Well, I did mention they used to make a lot of wine here. And that looks like a little bit of corkage and that kind of stuff that they used to use for the wine making. Some beans, a nice syringe. Yeah. Oh, that looks like a bit of a jackpot. That looks like a saw blade instructions. Maybe a walnut grater. What's that? Pitted black olives. Best before 2015. Don't know, still looking. I believe this is the key. Oh yes, jackpot. Alright, fair warning, there may be a few bats in here as well. Alright, so this is actually two big rooms down here. One has all of the old winemaking equipment. I'm guessing the crates were for collecting the grapes. That looks like a grape and fruit crusher to me. It looks like somewhere to crush everything into. And that looks like a big old fruit press. Wow. With a random egg in it. I wonder how many years that's been there. That is a big fruit press. Oh, there's some water pipes, interesting, okay. It's always good to know. And this is the roof that I'm sure needs to be taken out completely and replaced. We'll see what's under there, but in my experience, once something has had this lath and plaster put over the top of it and then has been left to go into this condition, the wood under it is normally absolute rubbish. So we'll see. Oh, and there's Daddy Spider. So yeah, and then in the back part, this is where they used to store the wine. We have a couple of very big old barrels, some food ready for eating. So that looks like a milk jug, big glass barrel. I think that might actually be, that is, if I can clean enough mould off, I don't really want to touch all this stuff. That is full of wine. I'm sure that's not much good, but who knows. And then these wine barrels. It is mouldy as in here. I think next time I come in, I will be coming in with a big mask on and disinfecting with bleach. I'm not sure. They also look like they are full of wine. They are full of wine. I don't think we'll be using that wine, but who knows? It sounds empty. It sounds full. It sounds empty. And those two. Who knows? Maybe we'll be able to save those barrels. Maybe not. They could just be completely trashed. Alright. Well, that is it for our tour of the inside of the buildings. That's what it looks like today. I mean, we haven't touched it. We haven't tried to fix anything. We haven't even had a really good look around ourselves yet. We really wanted to make these videos so that we knew what it was like when we first arrived, and you know what it was like when we first arrived. We have a lot of work to do. I'm really excited about this project. It's big, it's ugly, and hopefully we can turn it into big and beautiful. As always, thank you very much for watching. We really appreciate it. Leave some comments down below, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We'll catch you next week.